President Trump calls himself a very stable genius. He says he has so much brain and that he's incredibly smart. He's the smartest. I'm the smartest. I'm the best. Nobody has such a big brain like I do. Right. Okay. So now, what's interesting about that is if you were somebody who was incredibly smart, why would you go about hiding your grades in college and your SAT scores? Now, why do I say that? Well, that's because earlier today, during the Michael Cohen hearings, Cohen testified that he had threatened colleges on behalf of President Trump into not releasing those grades. Now, during the hearing, he said, quote, "I'm talking about a man who declares himself brilliant, but directed me to threaten his high school, his colleges, and the College Board to never release his grades or SAT scores." Now, in case you're wondering, come on, that can't be true, can it? Well, it turns out he brought receipts. He ended up giving Congress a copy of the letter he sent that threatened the schools with both civil and criminal action if grades and test scores were released. Now, Donald Trump, of course, attended the New York Military Academy and enrolled in Fordham University and then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, from which he got a college degree, which of course makes you think, how is he smart enough to actually pass through college? I think you know the answer to that. Now, Fordham University confirms that Michael Cohen had done this, that he had threatened legal action. The former Trump organization lawyer told the congressional investigators, and this was backed up by Fordham, that he had indeed threatened the high school, colleges, and the College Board. Spokesman for Fordham confirmed to NPR that the representative from Trump campaign contacted the school toward the beginning of the race, asking about the release of school records. Quote, "We told the caller that Fordham is bound by federal law and that we would not reveal/share any records. That was school policy, whether or not the former student was running for office." Now, after the call, Fordham received a follow-up letter from one of Mr. Trump's attorneys summarizing the call and reminding them that they would take action against the university if they did, in fact, release Trump's records. Fascinating. Gee, I wonder why he didn't want anything released. You guys know. You already know. He's dumb. I mean, just listen to when he talks. Listen about the things that he talks about. And then ask yourself, is that a smart person? Does that sound like somebody who's got their shit together? No, of course not. Look, his grades were probably awful, I'm guessing, right? This is my speculation. I think, though, the only reason that he graduated from college was because of Daddy. I mean, could you think of any other reason why someone would really like to hide their transcripts? It's not because you have awesome grades. Think about this, right? You should know who Donald Trump is by now, right? You should know if there's anything to brag about, he would be out there bragging. You think if Trump had a 4.0, that he'd be hiding it? No, he'd be out there saying, "No, I have a 4.0. I have very strong grades. Very strong. The best grades. They're better than any grades that anyone has ever even seen before. I am a very stable genius." Come on, man. You know that's not it. No, you know the reason. You know the real reason. That's the reason that they would threaten these schools. Because he's dumb. Now, the irony here, of course, is you guys remember when he was going after President Obama's not only birth certificate, but school records as well. Republicans were asking, yeah, what about Obama? Release his school transcripts. You want to know why? Well, again, there's a couple reasons. One, he knows he's dumb. Two, President Obama actually did really well in college. And he attained some very high positions when he was in college. So Trump couldn't believe that a black guy could be smarter than he is. Now that, of course, is old school racism right there. Couldn't stand it. Why do you think he despises President Obama? I look, okay, I guess maybe a couple of reasons on that. For one, he watches Fox News, and Fox News is nothing but hate and vitriol towards Obama during the Obama years. But number two, again, it comes down to that old school racism. Ah, that black guy, there's no way he met it on his own. There's no way he could be smarter than me. Why? Because I'm superior. I got good genes. You always hear him talking about genes. Of course, that is the racism. He is an old school racism, or racist, thinks he's better than everybody else, and especially better than black people, so he can't stand the idea that a black person could have actually gotten better grades than him. And he knows it, and that's why he's fighting desperately to not release those school transcripts and SAT scores. He knows. He knows he's not smart enough. And that probably is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.